In the NFC East, Eagles and Cowboys scrapping in Big D to determine bragging rights in football's toughest division. Did you say tough? Ask Warren Moon about the new-look Steelers. Pittsburgh and Houston battle down to the wire to grab an upper hand in the AFC Central. Could this be the week for the Pats to get off the schneid? Against the Bills, no less? Could the Cards even dream about upending the mighty Niners? The once mighty Dolphins find against the Jets. They could be losing their grasp on their winning ways. In Atlanta, the Falcons and Rams light up the scoreboard. We promise to give you a bird's eye view, and we promise to toe the line next on NFL Primetime. Once again, everybody, I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to Week 9 of NFL Primetime. Back for an hour tonight and every night to the rest of the season. And obviously, it's an hour. I can't do it alone, can I? No. So we've enlisted the help of the loyal compatriots, Tom Jackson, Robin Roberts. A week when some decisions were made in a couple of divisions, and a week when some scores just don't make any sense. That's why we're here. Let's check the late scores first around the NFL. All these are now final. Cincinnati, once every few weeks, they look good, and today was the day. Boomer, 3 touchdown passes. Cincy has beaten Cleveland 5 straight times at Riverfront, handily 30-10 today. The Chargers, for the second time in 3 weeks, have defeated the Indianapolis Colts. Shutout at the Murph, 26-0. The Chargers at 4-4, just a game back now in the AFC West. The shocker of the day, the Phoenix Cardinals at Sun Devil Stadium beat the 49ers 24-14, 3 touchdown passes for Chris Chandler. And the Dallas Cowboys, just a couple of moments ago, Emmitt Smith unleashed on the ground finally against Philadelphia. The Cowboys by 10 over the Eagles, 20-10 to up their mark to 7-1. They've won 11 straight now at home. Let's begin, though, with a game and a rivalry that began many, many a moon ago. The Lions and the Green Bay Packers. Well, Detroit won last week, and although they're only 2-5, this is a division winner from a year ago. You figured they're coming home. They have their security blanket. Remember last year? They won 11 straight over the last couple of years at the Silverdome. Well, if they lost to the Packers today, all of a sudden it would mark 3 straight losses. Which Lions would show up? Well, Kevin Glover, the latest offensive lineman to be hurt, in a cast in his foot. He's out, hurt last week, and the Lions struggle. Tony Bennett leaves Rodney Pete's heart in the middle of the Silverdome. Pernell Dent on the blitz sack. Pete 4 sacks today by the Pack.
Yeah, and when he wasn't being sacked, he was being pressured as he is here by George Coombs.
When Pete did throw, sometimes it was ill-guided. Johnny Holland, he could go all the way, except reminder to tail. You got to bring the football with you. He drops the ball. It is the Packers' ball at the 3. 3 plays later, Harry Sidney from Australia. No, for the Pack. Touchdown, 7-3 Green Bay. First rushing touchdown for Mike Holmgren's Packers all year. 2.5 to go in the second quarter, 10-3 Green Bay. Watch Kelvin Pritchett. He's going to rough Brett Favre. And on a play when they stop Vince Workman short of the first down, the roughing the passer allows the drive to continue. So, Favre, the youngster, takes advantage of it. Goes to Sterling Sharp, the leading receiver that nobody knows, down to the 48 of Detroit. Favre to Sterling Sharp. You can bet the Lions know all about him. An 18-yard pickup. And then Favre to a tight end the Packers expect big things from one day. Jackie Harris. Touchdown. 17-3 Pack. Late second quarter.
Yeah, and as far as the pass rush, as you said this morning, Chris, they had none. The best defensive lineman they had, Jerry Ball, was double-teamed and triple-teamed all day.
If you can't pressure the quarterback, what are you going to do? Well, special teams, like Benny Blades, blocking the punt of Paul Orange McJulian. He picks it up at the touchdown. Special teams play gets the Lions in at 20-13.
Yeah, you watch the block there, or non-block on Blades. You see him come free. That's the easiest block he'll ever have of a punt.
Jackie Harris caught a touchdown but missed the block. But so, now the Pack need to sustain a drive. Favre to Sharp. Again, Favre to Sharp. Look at him spin and then spin up the field for a key first down. And then Favre to Sharp. Not only is it a first down, it's a touchdown. He was Sterling today. 6 catches for 84 yards. That's a 30-yard touchdown. Brett Favre and the Packers all over the Lions, 27-13. No fluke here. 25-9 in first downs. And Vince Workman, my way back to you, babe, was going to get a rare 100-yard rushing game for the Pack. They took 2 yards away from him on a loss the last couple of plays of the game. But the Packers won, and Brett Favre looked good, Tommy.
Well, Brett Favre is an added dimension for this team, Chris. When he shows that mobility outside the pocket, buys times for his receivers, I think that he's the dimension that Mike Holmgren is going to build this team around. And as we said this morning, the Detroit Lions have no pass rush whatsoever, 11 sacks on the year.
Yeah, 11 sacks on the year aren't going to get it done, and a good win for the Packers, and all of a sudden the Lions, what was great last year, is not working this year. So, when we return, we've got more highlights. But first, and I've been told that they did give him the yards back. Workman did get the 100-yard game, ending a long drought for the Pack. Previous 5 games, the whole team averaged 80 yards a game rushing. Today, Vince Workman, my way back to you, babe. 101 yards for the Pack. When we return, the Falcons and the Rams in a wild one. Special teams, Tony Smith returning punts, making the Rams look foolish. Wild one. We'll show you what happened in a moment. Coming up on NFL Primetime, including the Saints in their annual joust with the Bucs. Dalton Hilliard coming back from surgery a couple years ago, looking good.
Ed Romaine says it's time for a change. But a change to Ed Romaine? Fact. Romaine ran the Brookhaven Town HUD program. Scandal, indictments, prosecutions, cost to taxpayers $1 million. Fact. Romaine took $1,000 and a free campaign car from John McNamara. Ed Romaine, part of the Brookhaven Republican political machine for over 10 years. Imagine what he'd do to us in Congress. The clear choice, George Hochbruckner.
Why do we need Tom Downey on our side? It was Tom Downey who fought and won and upgraded the F-14 and saved jobs at Grumman. Our Tom Downey who brought the National Aviation Center to train our people for jobs that'll stay and grow with our future. Long Island's Tom Downey, who led the fight to save the benefits our unemployed need to keep their families together. Tom Downey. Nobody fights harder for Long Island.
On Sunday nights, where can I eye a ton of bears?
In your face!
ESPN Sunday Night NFL. Every week, it's where the best go face-to-face.
In your face. In your face. In your face.
When the moon comes out, ESPN is in your face.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL.
The Bengals face the Bears Sunday night at 8 Eastern.
Back on NFL Primetime, I mean, the Bucs and the Saints aren't in the same division, but every year they're in their face. I mean, it just seems that, Robin. I mean, it's a Gulf of Mexico sort of thing.
It is that kind of thing. Since the Bucs joined the NFC in 1977, all but 1 year in 80, the two have played together. It's a natural rivalry, so close together. Heading into today's game at the Superdome, the Bucs had lost 3 in a row, while the Saints had won their last 3. The Saints have really dominated this series with the Bucs, including 7 straight wins in the Dome, where the Bucs have never won. First quarter, 4th and 1, Morton Anderson on for the 54-yard field goal attempt. Tommy Barnhart to hold. Sneaky, sneaky. Barnhart takes off for 12 yards, gets the first down. E.J. Jr. draws a flag for the little extra there, just a little extra. Bobby Hebert wastes no time. Dalton Hilliard, he just drags Jimmy Williams from the 5, 7-0 Saints. At times it seemed like the Saints couldn't catch the ball. John Tice loses the handle. The Sandman is there. Broderick Thomas finds it. 56 yards, the return for the score. The turnovers really hurt the Saints in this game. Saints 7, the Sandman 7. Late in the first half, Torrance Small, well, he comes up big here. A 33-yard reception, scorching Ricky Reynolds. Same drive. Hebert to Quinn Early on the post pattern for the touchdown, but a holding penalty called it back. Wait a minute, we haven't heard from the Saints defense. Toy Cook comes on a safety blitz, sacking DeBerg. The Saints held the Bucs to 15 yards total offense in the first half. All right, early in the second half, Vince Buck picks off this DeBerg pass, gets some blocks, and returns it 17 yards. Dalton Hilliard capitalizes on the turnover, robles in for an 18-yard touchdown, his second score of the day, 17-7 Saints. After another Saints turnover, DeBerg rolls out, It's Willie Drury for the short touchdown pass, 2014 Saints. Hebert turns it over again. Marty Carter gets the pick, and Hebert, he's simply disgusted. Reggie Cobb will then bang his way in from the 4. The Bucks take the lead, 21-20. In the 4th, Hebert goes deep to Quinn Early. He is open, and he simply drops it in the end zone, TJ.
Robert, the shame of this play, this is probably the best pass that Hebert threw all day, and Early just lost his concentration right there at the back of the end zone.
Well, old reliable. Morton Anderson comes on for the game winner, a 50-yard field goal. Mort's 3rd field goal of the day. 23-21 Saints. To Bird, 49 seconds left. Last drive, 4th and 1. Easy swing out to Courtney Hawkins. He drops the ball, and the Berg is bumming. Teammates, will they console Hawkins on the sideline? Sam Weiss just comes up short again. Again, the final 23-21. After a fast start, the Bucks have lost 4 of their last 5. The Saints added 3 more sacks to their NFC high total of 28. And Chris, 26 years ago, on November 1st, the Saints were awarded the franchise in New Orleans.
Well, maybe they will reward their fans that they're keeping on winning when teams
a lot
maybe
of
ahead of them in the
years
conference.
in the early part of that.
That's right. Well, they're on their way, and they like what they saw in the Niners score. That's for sure.
Definitely.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Speaking of that division, Robin, the NFC West, the Atlanta Falcons made the playoffs last year. Kind of like we were talking about with Detroit. This is the time they got to jump back in the race or forget about it. Their first of 3 straight home games. And it's against the Rams. They swept the Rams last year. Glanville's team's 4-1 against Jim Everett. And they had to get started today, to the Atlanta Falcons, if they wanted to see any playoff race at all. Dion not there, but Falcons have other guys that can do the job on kick returns. Tony Smith takes the kickoff. And look at him go. He's got the front wall over the midfield stripe. And the Falcons in business early. 58-yard return. Chris Miller. And the Falcons stay on the ground. Smith returns kicks. He can run for 8 yards. 2 plays later, it's Smith for 9 yards. Atlanta running the football well. The Rams have a terrible rush defense, so why not? Smith for 5 more, and that sets up. Give him the nod. He's done everything else. Tony Smith touchdown. 7-0 Falcons, all 86 yards, or 83 yards on the first drive for Tony Smith. Jim Everett has looked good the last month. Steps up, but he's hit by Darian Conner at the fumble. And Atlanta falls on it. First play, Miller to Michael Haynes. I like this. You get the turnover, you go deep. It's a touchdown. 14-0 Falcons. Chuck Knox says, first visit in this dome, I don't like it. But the Rams come back. 17-0, now 17-7. And Everett hits Jeff Chadwick for 18 yards. Cleveland, Gary had a big day. Revlin for 37 yards. Gary had 144 on the afternoon. Sets up a 2-yard score. Everett to Gary. And Jerry Glanville says, we had a big lead. What are we doing? David Lang, not the most heralded of Rams, but maybe one of the fastest. Look at Everett, looks so smooth, and David Lang does the rest. He just could go all the way. 67 yards and touchdown.
What speed by David Lang. It's all set up by misdirection here. The offensive line moves left. Everett rolls right. And like you say, very smooth delivery, Chris.
This is not the Jim Everett we saw the last couple of years, Tommy. And Lang does a great job running down the field. It's now just a 23-21 Atlanta lead. Rams strike again. 2 more interference call. Everett to Jim Price. It's right. It's a touchdown. 28-23. Then things get worse for the Falcons. Chris Miller just loses the footing. Looks like an AstroTurf injury. First diagnosis, torn cartilage, deep bone bruise in his left knee. He'll have an arthroscopic exam tomorrow. If the diagnosis is correct, normal recoup time 4 to 6 weeks. Billy Joe Tolliver, though, they got a good replacement. It's Andre Bad Moon Rising for 10. It's Mike Pritchard for 12. Has all kinds of time back there. Steps up. Good gun to Drew Hill for 23. Fourth quarter. Can Tolliver rally the Falcons? He hits Rising, who caught 8 for 99. To Michael Haynes. Then from the 13, Tolliver, slant, Haynes, touchdown. 30-28 Atlanta. 6 for 9 on the drive. Billy Joe was a hero. Could Jim Everett be a hero? Last chance saloon. Jeff Chadwick, well, they're out of time anyway. The Falcons, yeah, we'll take it. Bad move. Saw his team kind of get rid of a 17-0 lead. But in the end, the Falcons win it 30-28 with the Monday Nighter at home against the 49ers coming up. So Atlanta wins the game as Tolliver leads him on in relief. Back to the Tampa Bay game for a moment. When Sam I Am had him started at a 3-1 pace, it was defense that did the job. They allowed only 15 points a game. But when you double that and allow an average of 29 points a game, you're not going to win many. And in the Bucs case, you aren't going to win any. That's why they're now at 3-5. When we return, where have they been all year? Well, I'll tell you what, a youngster like Johnny Mitchell, you put him in the Jets' arsenal, and all of a sudden they look like a playoff team, much to the chagrin of the Miami Dolphins. NFL Primetime highlights a lot of the big games, including the Niners upset and that Dallas-Philadelphia game coming right up. The Dolphins and the Jets. You know, the last time the Jets looked good in the regular season was at the end of last year when they won in overtime at Miami to forge their way into the playoffs. Now, it took another sighting of the Miami Dolphins to allow the Jets, at least for just one afternoon, to regain that playoff look. Ken O'Brien subbing for the injured Browning Nagel, and he's had great success against the Dolphins over the year. He's never had Johnny Mitchell before, and the Dolphins said, whoa, we can't tackle this rookie. Mitchell back after an injury, 39-yard touchdown. Browning Nagel will be throwing to him for a lot of years. He likes it, 7-0 Jets. Aguiar, the short hop, does a good job there. And watch this, just like they diagram it. The short hop, coffin corner, out-of-bound punt at the 2. Dan Marino on the shotgun, 3rd down. Marvin Washington drags him down, and Tommy, it's 9-0 Jets.
Yeah, they have the double blitz package coming from the left of your screen. The tackle takes on the inside guy. Marvin Washington comes free. 2 points.
And our boy, the Silver Bullet, R.J. Core, is involved with that play. O'Brien to Chris Burkett. Great concentration, 21 yards. Blair Thomas out, which means the veteran, Freeman McNeil, is in. Like the old days, O'Brien to Freeman McNeil. O'Brien looking mobile to McNeil for 7. And the play-action rollout. Kenny's got all sorts of time. Alto touchdown, 16-0 Jets.
And there may not be a better short receiver in the game. Here he fights out inside, fights back outside, moves with his quarterback, gives him a little window there to complete the touchdown pass.
Marino to Keith Jackson. Oh, let me tell you about Keith Jackson, but it's a fumble. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Whoa, it's still in bounds. Eric McMillan with a good play to keep it in bounds, and Brian Washington recovers for the Jets. So, O'Brien and Mitchell make the Dolphins pay with a circus grab of the rookie. O'Brien to Rob Moore. Where's this been all year? 23-0 Jets at the half. A big first half for Ken O'Brien, almost 200 yards. Don Shula's can looks good, but his team does not. 3rd quarter. Marino. Pass tipped by Mo Lewis, but maybe the tide turning. Oh, Keith Jackson at the touchdown, 23-7. 4th quarter. Do the Dolphins have a comeback? Well, O'Brien's pass, does it bounce off the turf? Well, they ruled that Bestie Jackson did make the interception. And Miami's Marino make them pay. Beautiful pass to Mark Super Duper. All of a sudden, 23-14. Bruce Coslett says, we can't let this one slip away. Ken O'Brien says, don't worry about it, big guy. To Al Toon for a 1st down. The rollout to Mark Boyer for a 1st down. Carrie Blanchard, since they picked him up 7 for 7 field goals. This is a 47-yarder, now at 26-14. Miami needs 2 touchdowns. 6 minutes to go. Could Dan Marino forge a comeback? To Mark Clayton. Zip. Inside the 40. Almost up to the midfield stripe. Defensive coordinator Pete Carroll wants to shift his troops. But Clayton takes the little dump off and turns it into a 17-yard pickup. This time the Jets collapse Marino's pocket and the sack. 4th and 14. Shotgun for Marino. The Jets send a blitz. 3 guys coming. Incomplete. Marino and the Dolphins come away empty-handed. The Jets coaching staff and players rejoice. A close call Monday night loss to the Bills and an impressive win over the Dolphins, 26-14. Miami has now lost 2 games in a row, and afterwards Marino says, you know, you just can't show up and expect to win all the time.
You have to realize, no matter who you are, I mean, you're going to play each and every week, and you have to play, you know, solid football in order to win football games. And you can't, you know, just go out there and throw your helmet on and think you're just going to walk on a field and win and beat teams. I don't care who you're playing or who you might think, you know, how good you think you might be. You know, you have to play each and every week, and you have to play good, solid football in order to win in the NFL.
One other note, congratulations. Al Toon has now caught passes in 100 straight games. Buffalo at home against New England, would it be a laugher? It was in Week 4 when the Bills embarrassed Dick McPherson's Pats at Foxborough 41-7. Cornelius Bennett ready to go. Leonard Russell tries to move outside. Forget it. Cornelius strips him and stops him right there. Later, Tommy Hodson, the starter at quarterback today for the Patriots, sandwiched between Bennett and Bruce Smith. Ouch, man. Jim Kelly didn't have better luck, though. Open man, but Dwayne Sabb, playing for the injured Andre Tippett, had a good game. Still no score late first half. Thurman Thomas has the ball stripped by Sabb. The Undertaker, Vincent Brown, rumbles in. The Patriots leading in Buffalo 7-0?
Yeah, and Vincent Brown does a good job of 2 things here. One, scooping up this ball, one-handed with his left hand, and then fighting off Jim Richard and getting the ball in.
Final moments of the first half. Could Kelly rally the Bills? He does to James Lofton. Final play of the half. The old Hail Mary. And can you believe the Patriots lead it 7-0 at the half? Thurman Thomas a badly bruised elbow, so Kenneth Davis getting the action at running back, and Kelly to tight end Pete Metzelaars, his 4th TD of the year, tied at 7. Sean McCarthy can't handle the punt, falls on it, safety. 9-7 Buffalo, all those Patriots. 4th quarter, McPherson's club playing well. Can they pull out the big upset? Tommy Hodson goes deep and picked off by Kelso. He does it and then goes out of bounds. Bills driving. But boy, when Jim Kelly looked off, he looked off.
Yeah, he had good numbers, but his passes were just wavering in the wind.
The all Tommy Hodson has to do is fall down here, and they kick a field goal to go ahead 10-9, but it's a fumble. Jeff Wright recovers as Bennett makes the play. And that sets up Kelly to Lofton. So quickly the Patriots could have had the lead, but instead they trail 16-7. Here are those numbers you talked about, Tommy, but Jimbo will be the first to tell you, through a couple of bad balls. Hodson, Irving Fryer slicing through the Buffalo defense for 17 yards. Hodson drops back. Henry Jones has 6 picks, and another day for the Birds for the Pats. 8 games now, all of them L's. This one a tough one. They played well. Buffalo beats them by the count of 16-7, and with Miami's loss, that means even despite the impressive win, Buffalo now tied with Miami for first in the AFC East at 6-2. Let's go back to the Jets-Miami game because, you know, it would be a heck of a run for the Jets to even think about getting in the playoff hunt. But, you know, with Kenny O'Brien there, the reason he's had done so well in the past against Miami, Tommy, the Jets were able to protect for him. When he has time, he's got a lot of weapons. It was the same today.
Yeah, and you know, we often talk about one team having the number of another team. This is a case of a quarterback who has the number of another team. If they give him protection, he's always successful as long as he doesn't have to be mobile. And I think also contributing to that, as Johnny Mitchell gets into this lineup and matures as a receiver, he's going to be used to put pressure on the inside of the defense. And you saw O'Brien throwing the ball to everybody today. But he started it off with Mitchell.
Yeah, he did, and he feels good against the Dolphins, and maybe the Jets can get back going because they finally look like the team that they were, and Miami doesn't look like the team that they were. And say it's a weird year. There are no front runners. That's a later discussion. When we return, plenty to show you from the late games. But first, Buffalo. Yeah, I know they're 6-2. Remember they rolled everybody the first 4 games of the year, averaging 38 points a game and over 430 yards a game. Last 4 games, the offense down 80 yards, and the points. Where have they gone? Buffalo hosts the Steelers next week. The Steelers had their hands full this week with the Houston Oilers in a game that would determine who the leader was in the AFC Central. We'll show you what happened at Three Rivers in just a moment. Bum Phillips, when he was head coach of the Houston Oilers, late 70s, used to say, the road to the Super Bowl goes through Pittsburgh. Well, I don't know the Jack Party and the Oilers thought that would be the case in '92, but all of a sudden that is the case. as the Oilers and Steelers tangle the Three Rivers for supremacy in the AFC Central. Intensity, yeah, this goes back to those old steel curtain bum days. And tough D, Hardy Nickerson bats it down.
Yeah, very complicated defensive schemes today by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Here you watch the blitz by the linebackers coming up the middle of the field, and then watch the two ends. After the linebackers get into the line, the ends take a couple of steps forward, drop back into coverage. That's pretty difficult for Moon to read. Takes that little extra second, he gets the pass batted down.
On offense, Barry Foster, leading rusher in the NFL after 8 games, had 747 yards. And yes, he is a jumbo jet. Here's an 18-yard pickup today. In the second quarter, Houston leading 6-0. Foster erases that in a hurry. 1-yard run, 7-6 Steelers. Darren Perry, the rookie, with a big hit on Leonard Harris, 7-6 at the half. Warren Moon nailed by Rod Woodson after a pass in the third quarter, had to leave the game with a concussion.
Yeah, you watch the double blitz here by the safety at the bottom of the screen and Rod Woodson in the corner at the top. Down at the bottom of the screen, they get it blocked. The back does not spot Woodson, and it's see you, wouldn't want to be you.
But in the game is Cody Carlson, the commander, whose performance in the last game of the 90s season knocked the Steelers out of first place and out of the playoffs. Could he do the same thing to him? Well, he has Lorenzo White for just a 4-yard run. A lot of confusion there, but things would get better. The commander to Low White for 10 yards and a first down. The commander to Haywood Jeffries.
And Chris, you see the same blitz here. The only difference is that the back now, Lorenzo White, goes and picks up the corner, gives Carlson the extra time to throw the ball and complete the pass.
The Oilers continue to march. Low White and the 7 Dwarfs for 12 yards. Carlson to Webster Slaughter, making his first start as an Oiler, 13 yards. And with Warren dazed on the sideline, Cody Carlson took command. And for the first time in 11 quarters, the Steelers allowed a touchdown. 13-7 Houston in the third. Next possession, Jeff for the poor. Strips O'Donnell of the ball. Ray Joe just picks it up. Look at the move. Get out of here. He's over. O'Donnell touchdown. 20-7 Houston late in the third quarter. Could Cowher's troops come from way behind? Early in the fourth. Play action. They got 2 good tight ends of the Steelers. That's the second one, Adrian Cooper. Touchdown 20-14. The commander doesn't have command of the snap. Fumble. Greg Lloyd, what a year he's having, picks it up for Pittsburgh. But the Steelers couldn't move. Oilers stack up Foster. Then O'Donnell sacked by Ray Childress and Sean Jones. But on 3rd and 16, Eric Green. What a load. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, 24 yards and a first down. They go to 1 tight end for 1 touchdown. O'Donnell to the big guy, Eric Green, for another touchdown. 21-20. Pittsburgh grabs the lead in the fourth. Could Jack Pardee's club now come from behind? 2:27 to go in the game. Carlson to Haywood Jeffries, 15 yards. Carlson to Ernest Gibbons from Louisville, 15 yards.
Pittsburgh feared, or at least Houston feared, that they would get a lot of passes knocked down here, and that's just the athleticism of Rod Woodson getting up and knocking that ball down.
But Carlson, to his credit, was calm. Makes the nice pass after the 2-minute warning to Webster Slaughter, 15 yards and a first down. Carlson to Curtis Duncan, 6 yards, and are up to the 27-yard line. Would they try and get in the end zone, or are they going to rely on Al Del Greco, who was 2 for 2 on the game? Well, Jack Pardee says 34 seconds to go. Let's just run it. Low White to the 22. On 3rd and 1, stacked up. 6 seconds to go. Al Del Greco, 21-20. Cowher Steelers lead it from the 39. It's long enough. It's high enough. It's wide to the left. The Oilers on the road. They just can't get it done. And the Pittsburgh Steelers have swept the Oilers for the first time since '86. Essentially 2 up in the AFC Central standings. Barry Foster, a 100-yard game, gives him 6 on the year. The club record, 7 by Franco Harris in 1972. The Steelers, down by 14 in Week 1, came back to beat the Oilers. The Steelers, down by 13 in Week 9, come back to beat the Oilers. Bill Cowher, enthused.
I'll say this, what can you say? It comes down to 1 kick. It was a classic matchup. It was a classic battle, and, you know, it was, I'm happy that we came out on the victorious end of it.
I'm very disappointed, and, I let down not only my teammates, but the people back in Houston, and all our followers, but you know, unfortunately, that's what happens in this business from time to time. Subconsciously, I just thought about it too much and hooked the ball.
What do you do when you're in that type of situation again and again? But we have been there, and I don't know what else we can do. I mean, we're a very talented team, and it hurts to be 5-3 and know we could easily be 8-0.
Give the Oilers credit. They all went out and patted Del Greco on the shoulder, but said, "You've had a good year for us. It's just one miss. We'll get it back." But, hey, Tommy, these Pittsburgh Steelers, week after week after week, they're making everybody believers.
Yeah, and you mentioned their ability to come back. I think that shows character. You build that character at the line of scrimmage. When you see a back putting up the kind of numbers that Barry Foster is putting up, it means he's getting great blocking from his offensive line, and they've come up with a great scheme defensively, because when they can't get pressure from their front four or front three, they come with the safeties, they come with the corners. So this is a team that's going to have to be reckoned with.
They certainly will, and I'll tell you what, for the Houston Oilers, I mean, they lose at Denver in the playoffs last year. It happens again this year. Today, did you see this before? Yes. Week 10 last year, 13-13 at RFK. Second to go, Ian Halfield hooks a 33-yard field goal. The Skins end up winning it in overtime. Hook left, just like Del Greco's 39-yard attempt today. Oh, you Oilers, so close, but yet on the road so far. At home, you're great, but in the last 5+ years, 20 and 29, what it does is take you at a home field advantage, and what that does is take you at a late January playoff football. When we return, we've got the Eagles-Cowboys highlights, the upset of the Niners, and the Chargers getting after the Colts. Jeff George, stay with us. At NFL Primetime, and Robin, it's not that often that you hear people actually some interest in a Colts-Chargers game, but as they met for the second time in 3 weeks, I mean, these are all of a sudden teams that could be a factor.
Yeah, they had some quality wins over some really good opponents last week, so there was a lot of interest in this one. But 2 weeks ago, the Chargers pretty much had their way over the Colts, both offensively and defensively. Jeff George was sacked 5 times, but the last 2 trips to the Murph, the Colts have come back with a victory. Leslie O'Neal back after missing 1 game with a knee injury, and O'Neal lets Jeff George know that he is back. Next play, George again the shotgun and is swarmed under by Chargers. Blaze Winter leading the way. This time the pressure comes from the right side where Chris Mims brings down George. Near their own goal line, Bert Grossman gets in on the act, rushing through Kerry Cash to sack George for the safety, TJ.
Yeah, what you see here is the double team. Kevin Call goes to double team on Chris Mims. That leaves Kerry Cash on Bert Grossman, and that's a big mismatch as he goes and gets George for the safety.
Yeah, the obligatory early score for the Lightning Bolts. Jeff George, he doesn't know which way he's going. First half, Colts -5 total yards. Second half, Chargers offense starts to click. Stan Humphries with the screen to Ronnie Harmon, who makes some nifty moves upfield before he's finally dragged down. Humphries feels some pressure, but he finds his man again, Harmon. He takes it down to the 17-yard line this time. Sets up Humphries to Nate Lewis in the corner of the end zone. 12-0 Lightning Bolts. Next possession, Humphries back to his man, Ronnie Harmon. Excuse me, sir. Dips back outside and goes out of bounds. Enough of Harmon. Where's Anthony Miller? There he is. Yeah, right there, over the middle, to the 9-yard line. That set up Humphries to the corner again. And who is there again? Nate Lewis. 19-zip Lightning Bolts. Humphries feeling pretty good about what's going on. Give it up the high five. Fourth quarter, 1st and goal. Marion Butts hit at the goal line, but he has enough strength to power in for his first touchdown of the season. Now, okay, tempers get out of hand. After a San Diego interception, a brawl breaks out on the San Diego sideline. Nobody hurt. 26-0. The Lightning Bolts. You know, the first 4 games, they were 0-4, and they were outscored, the Chargers, 95-29. Last 4 games, all victories. They have outscored their opponents 101-41. Just thought you'd like to know that. The Bengals hope to snap their 5-game losing streak at the expense of the Browns. David Shula and his staff with a look at the Battle of Ohio. 3-0 on a Jim Breach field goal. Boomer Esiason, he finds Tim McGee, who almost busted. Goes down to the 22-yard line. After a pass interference penalty in the end zone, Boomer finds Craig Thompson in the end zone. The Bengals' first lead in 6 weeks, TJ.
Yeah, Bengals here in a triple tight end formation. Craig Thompson fakes the block at the line of scrimmage, releases, That's easy coverage because the linebacker had to come figure out where he was.
Second quarter, still 7-3 Bengals. Boomer Esiason flips to Harold Green, and he hurdles Frank Miller. What is he? Does he think he's Calvin Hill or something? 2 plays later, Esiason fakes it to Green. Finds Rodney Holman for the touchdown. 14-3 Bengals. Boomer in the first half, 9 of 12 and 2 touchdown tosses. Late in the first half, Kevin Mack, second and goal, he stopped at the 2-yard line. You think, TJ, maybe he should have tried the other direction?
Well, right here, Scott Galbraith on the left has a good seal block. The left side is wide open. He just didn't see it. Goes to the right. Although he still gets some crunch yardage toward the goal line.
Yeah, saw that helmet fly off. 3rd down and goal. Touchdown, Tommy Vardell spins, but he comes up short. 4th and goal. Less than a yard. Kevin Mack stopped by David Fulcher and James Francis and others. Bill Belichick beside himself. He is certainly bumming. The half ends 14-3 Bengals. Third quarter, Bengals first possession. Harold Green with a nice run to the Cleveland 24, TJ.
Yeah, and it's all timing when you're running the ball. Here, John Melander with a nice block on Clay Matthews. Gets just enough of him to spring Green around the corner for a good gain.
And the very next play, Boomer finds Tim McGee wide open for the strike. 21-3 Bengals, Cleveland, and Bill Belichick. Well, they lose the Battle of Ohio. 30-10, the Bengals come up with the victory, so they snap their 5-game losing streak, the most complete game of the season. Cincinnati has won 6 of its last 7 against Cleveland. We would show you 300-yard passers, but you know what? We couldn't find any. Zilch. So the lone 100-yard receiver, the lightning bolt speedster, Anthony Miller, and the Chargers win. Still to come, oh yeah, we're going to head to Big D. Herschel running hard against his old mates. Chris has the highlights of the Cowboys and the Eagles.
Time earlier we showed you the AFC head knocker, the NFC head knocker. 5-2 Philadelphia at 6-1 Dallas. The Cowboys had won 10 straight at home. In fact, the last loss in the stadium with the hole in the roof was to Philadelphia last September, a year ago. Could the Eagles do it to the Cowboys again? Well, Randall Cunningham tried to get the offense going, but in the first quarter, Larry Brown, the great coach at Kansas, now quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, makes the interception. And a 30-yard return has the Cowboys in business. Randall trying to scramble. He's nailed by Larry Brown. Then Randall runs into old friend Jim Jeffcoat, or vice versa, I should say. And Jeffcoat and the Cowboys front wall doing a job.
Yeah, here's a team rush. Thomas Everett, number 31 from the left, Charles Haley from the right, clearing away for Jim Jeffcoat right up the middle of the field for the sack.
First half, Tommy, the Eagles had 2 yards passing, but they trail only 3-0. And with Randall struggling, Rich Kotite gambles and goes with Jim McMahon, who rallies him right away to Fred Barnett for 14 yards. 2 plays later, McMahon to Calvin Williams. Nice catch for a 37-yard pickup after a penalty. McMahon, not Randall, I said McMahon. Scrambling, Jimmy Mack, why don't you hurry back for an 11-yard gain? 2 plays later, look at the tread on that tire. Herschel Walker, touchdown, 7-3 Eagles. Randall out to congratulate that masked man, Jim McMahon. Troy Aikman, 0-6 as a starter lifetime against Philadelphia. Looks good to Michael Irvin, 21-yard pickup. Next play, Aikman, zip, the tight end, Jay Novacek, down to the Eagle 35. Just 3 plays later. Aikman to Kelvin Martin, down to the 22. Aikman, Martin, makes the spin, makes the dash, gets in the end zone, 10-7 Cowboys. The Eagles punt Dallas at their own 14, and Byron Evans picks off Aikman. Shades of that Monday night game when Aikman was picked off 3 times. It's down to the 13. First and goal on the 4. Herschel, is he in? No, says the referee.
But Chris, I thought this was a horrible call by the referee. You either got a touchdown or a fumble. I don't think the play could have been called dead. And you watch Herschel Walker's presence of mind there. Held the ball over the plane of the goal line. It should have been a touchdown.
But it's no touchdown. So on second down, Herschel tries it again. No, sir. Tony Casillas with the hit. Third down, McMahon. Incomplete to Herschel. Jimmy Johnson's defense hold. Who framed Roger Ruzek kicks a field goal. We're tied at 10. Cowboys get the ball back. Emmitt Smith, last 5 games against Philadelphia, rushed for 60 yards. This is 51 yards on one play in itself. And he goes over 100 yards, the first guy to go over 100 yards against Philly in the regular season since Gerald Riggs in 1989, 54 games. But Emmitt doesn't stop there. Field goal gives him a 13-10 lead, and now we're going to run out the clock with Emmitt. Oh, Emmitt, you're unbelievable. Look at him just to balance and pick up 11 more yards. Beating the Eagles to the corner for another first down. Emmitt Smith, unbelievable game. 30 carries, 163 yards, 20-10 Dallas. McMahon is picked off by Isaac Holt, who made a couple of foolish plays earlier in the game. And for the first time in Jimmy Johnson's reign as Cowboys coach, the Cowboys beat the Eagles at home. They win it 20-10. Emmitt Smith with 163 yards rushing. 11 straight wins for the Cowboys over the Eagles at home. They're on a roll and have a 2-game lead over the Eagles in the standings. The Skins game, of course, Sunday night. Dallas at 7-1, an impressive win. Other big-time teams in the NFC? Well, the 49ers, this can be a breather for Steve Young and company in Phoenix, right? Well, Steve Young, opening drive, pass to Tom Rathman, 17 yards. Young to Ricky Waters, opening drive, 17 yards. This is a layup, right? Wrong. It's a fumble. Rathman fumbles, but he's ruled down. Let's take a look, Tom.
Yeah, Chris, as you can see here, Rathman takes the big lick. The ball pops out just before he gets his knee down on the ground, so it was a legitimate fumble, but it didn't matter because 2 plays later, Ken Harvey, who has some of the strongest arms in this league, strips the ball from Steve Young, and Timmy McDonald recovers for the Cardinals.
So the Cardinals now on the move. And Johnny Johnson runs through Michael Carter, loses his helmet, breaks tackles, 30 yards. 3rd and goal. Chris Chandler to Randall Hill at the flag. 7-0 the Cards. Could they pull an upset? Well, Steve Young, who left the game after the first quarter, he'd been fighting the flu. Steve, I got you, babe, Bono. It's Dexter Davis with the pickoff. He runs. Now watch this play. He's going deep into San Francisco territory. No, where's Tim McDonald? No, where's Tim McDonald? Oh, there he is. One hopper to McDonald. Tim McDonald fumbles the ball. But the Cardinals recover anyway. 10-0. It goes to a field goal for Greg Davis. Oh, what a wild play. Chris Chandler to Randall Hill. This is a little more conventional. 40 yards. Chandler. Randall Hill beats Eric Davis. Touchdown. 17-0. Phoenix is dancing. Steve Young can only look on from the sidelines. Could Steve Bono work the magic of a year ago to bring Chuck? Eric Hill has it. But no, he's stripped of the ball by Mike Sherrard. And he could go all the way. My goodness, after a good play by Phoenix, could it backfire at 17-7? Klaus Wilmsmeyer from Louisville punts. And Johnny Bailey. Hey, Louisville to make punters too, huh, Tom? Bailey returns it to the 23 of the 49ers. Next play, Chris Chandler to Ricky Prohl Shampoo. 23-yard touchdown. Eric Davis torched again. 3 touchdown passes for Chandler. The Niners can't believe what's hit them in Phoenix. They're stunned. The Cards decked the Niners. 24-14. Fritz Shermer, defensive coordinator, has always done a good job. He used to be with the Rams against the Niners. And the Phoenix Cardinals, I mean, they have 2 wins this year. They beat Washington. They beat San Francisco. They should have beat Philadelphia, but yet they're only 2-6. Let's go back to the big game, though, Tommy. Dallas against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Cowboys alone after 8 weeks at 7-1. The only team at 7-1.
Yeah, a very impressive effort by the Cowboys today. And I think that one guy in particular, Isaac Holt, showed his composure. You've got the Eagles down deep. He gives them 3 extra downs to try to get in the end zone. The defense comes together. They hold him out, make him settle for a field goal. And then later on, he comes up with a big play.
You know what I thought was interesting about Dallas? I mean, they really outplayed Philadelphia in the first half. But yet they couldn't quite believe that they really, that's right. They were letting them hang in. They couldn't quite believe that they were better yet. They only led 3-0. They were better on this day. Now they got to go out and get themselves a field goal kicker, and they'll have just about everything, that's for sure. When we return, we've got more to show you, including primetime players. But first, 100-yard rushers. And at the head of the honor roll, Emmitt Smith. Nobody larger than Emmitt today. His 163 yards the reason the Cowboys doused the Eagles. Cleveland, Gary, a big game and a loss. Not carrying butts for the Lightning Bolts with 120 yards. Coming up, prime time plays.
3 receivers to the left, and now Miller goes back to throw, looking deep right side, Haynes in the end zone, catch, touchdown!
Close. They're really getting close, but 13 straight losses against divisional foes. Reggie Cobb's been scoring touchdowns where the Bucs have been losing. And oh, those P-men. Today they were close, but their 9th straight loss, this one against the Bills. Week 9, there were some serious prime time plays.
3 receivers to the left, and now Miller goes back to throw, looking deep right side, Haynes in the end zone, catch, touchdown!
Traffic is Hebert. He throws it over the middle. It is picked off by Broderick Thomas to the 45, to the 40, to the 30-yard line, to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, 15 to the 10, 5, touchdown Tampa Bay! Broderick Thomas' second interception of the day.
Kelly yelling out to his terminal receivers. Drops back, wants to throw a quick pass into the end zone. Touchdown! It is James Lofton. He got him in the end zone, 8 yards deep. James Lofton.
Del Greco, the kicker. Woodson lined up on the right side. The snap, the spot, the kick is up. It is no good! No good! 1 second left. It veered to the left.
Now Bono drops back to throw. Goes across the middle to Jones. He's down. He bumbles the ball. He was already down, I believe, but then it's picked up by Gerard. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown 49ers!
Morton in motion. Aikman looks that way, fires, completes it to Morton. Breaking tackles, running away from people, in for the touchdown!
Here's second down. Aikman back to throw. Block from Smith. Throws it right. Johnston caught it at the 10. Look at that! Breaks away to the goal! Touchdown, Moose! Touchdown, Moose! Oh! It's a Moose down!
Floor cam on NFL Primetime. If you've tuned in late and missed all the scores, don't ever let it happen again. We're going to give you the scores anyway because we're good folks here at ESPN. The Falcons, in a wild game, blew a 17-0 lead. They beat the Rams 30-28. And there we are over our shoulders from the Department of Redundancy Department. There we are. Atlanta beat the Rams 30-28. Buffalo, I think, beat New England by a count of 16-7. The Packers all over Detroit in the Silverdome 27-13. The Saints, long field goal, Morton Anderson, they beat the Bucs 23-21. Jets beat the Dolphins 26-14. Big game for Kenny O'Brien. Steelers come from 13 down in the fourth quarter, take control of their division. They beat the Oilers 21-20. Del Greco misses a field goal at the gun. Bengals shocked the Browns at Riverfront 30-10. 5 straight wins for them over Cleveland at home. Dallas, impressive win over Philadelphia 20-10. They're the lone team at 7-1. Cardinals shocked the 49ers 24-14. The Chargers shut out the Colts by the count of 26-0. Next Sunday, Sunday Night Football begins here on ESPN. Bengals, knowing they were on ESPN next Sunday night at 8 Eastern Time, got revved up this week. They're going to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. Mike and Joe on the call on that one. Well, Week 9 was wild. We're glad you could join us. For Tom Jackson and Robin Roberts, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime.